All right, b4, and we got bishop b2 coming in hot. Hitting the center pawn. We're happy about that. f6. Well, here we got to save our pawn, so I am going to push it forward. c4, e3. These are the types of moves that we're considering here. I feel like on this one, I will go c4. I do like a4, but man, this early trade here, I never feel like that does that much. Never that excited about it. Let's go e3. Okay, there's no threat there at the moment. Bishop d6 makes good sense. I do feel like supporting this pawn will be important, but perhaps not absolutely required just yet. Queen b3. At some point, I do think that our opponent's going to play c6. Very hard not to. Bishop e2 castle. Also queen on b3 seems to be a pretty nice square. Now this knight will have trouble developing. Yes, we're probably going to see this. Could be bishop e6 with knight d7, but remember this pawn very likely going to d4 where it usually does. Okay, we see c6. Now I'm not trying to take it. I think I'm just looking to wait. You know, if c5 we can take here. If takes, we just take back. And in the meantime, this knight does not have anywhere to go. So I think that we're just going to develop here. And perhaps castling, d4, e4, we can take that as a free pawn. So that looks definitely like a good move to try. Also, d4, I think, is a move we want to include no matter what. And let's go ahead for this. This is utilizing that pin. I'm going to get castled here. I do like this b pawn. Just feels so annoying for those pieces. And yeah, queen a5. There's also bishop c3, which I think just wins a piece. Bishop here. There's no b6 just yet. So I do think that's correct. But then we can play knight c5. And we've won a center pawn. Black's position is kind of collapsing here. Ooh, interesting move. At least it's a way to... I don't know if it really keeps the initiative, let's say, but it's a way to calculate a variation and actually play pawn takes knight. So we could take this and have the two bishops that way, or we could move this knight back, like knight c3, for example. I kind of like knight c3 because then the bishops just hit and it needs an answer. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Or bishop c3, but yeah, no need to overcomplicate. Let's just bring the knight back. How are we going to complain, right? We just won the center pawn. I'm just going to go right back where I came from. It's the same position, except black is missing an e-pawn. And we want a castle. And that'll be a free bishop as well. Bishop g4. Start with this, but ultimately we want a castle here. Yeah, finally that knight develops, but it's really kind of an uncomfortable thing. Took so long to get that knight out. It's move 17. Finally, the knight does get to move. I'll just defend this, but we're in a really good spot now. We're not really threatening the rook, but we're threatening to threaten the rook. The best thing to do. If we can get some trades, we'd be up for it. Ooh, this is a move. We're actually, our knight has taken both pawns in the middle due to a pin, and the knight will retreat to f4 next, which will guarantee another trade. It's all in all a big win here. In this case, I'll just make sure we get this queen trade in. Oh, okay. He's really not for the queen trades. Queen c8, knight b6. If you're not going to trade pieces, I'm going to win pieces. And I don't know if that's actually better. Okay, we're going back and forth. I'm taking everything. I'm making another queen here. And of course, take with the queen so we can deliver checkmate with the rook. GG. F6. In these situations, you know, the pawn truly is attacked. And after a6, you know, a4 is a move. I can't say in this moment that c4 is, you know, the best move, but there's something about this that I really don't care for. It's just so many pieces traded. I'd rather leave some pieces on the board. So I kind of end up playing c4, even though it gives the whole center. I think our pieces go to the more standard looking squares. And okay, d4 plan, and we get to take this. And the game was pretty much over from there. All right, let's play b4, bishop b2, attacking the center. We will take it, and finally we see a good looking move, knight to f6 there. Let's bring the bishop back. We can take as well, but I think it's a bit more in our character here to bring the bishop back. We can play c4 as well, and I think it makes sense here. Bishop e2, castle, knight c3, d4. You already know the moves we're trying to play. Now, I think I will start with a3, just because if bishop c5, I'm happy to take the potential tempo with d4. Rook to b1, h3, these are useful moves. Ooh, he does take. So we're going to deal with knight e4, but I think overall we're happy. We have the bishop pair here. This is a really strong piece. d3 next to kick the knight out, or he's gonna vacate on his own. Now you got to be careful here. You know, d4 looks like a good move. Now the knight jumps into e4. I'm not 100% sure about that. So maybe do we start with this? Something a bit more modest. What can we expect from black next? Knight e5? Could be knight e5. I think we'll play d3. h3, rook e1. I think these moves are all on the cards here. Queen c2. e4 is a move I'm not upset to play, just because it goes with the idea that we want all these light square pawns because we have a dark square bishop. So he's going to shut down the diagonal. Let's go here. Perhaps he wants to play knight e5. I think we could start with this. I definitely think he might want to take that. I don't think that works, but one always has to consider. Takes, and I think we'll go for our usual knight h2 there to try to defend. Okay, so he's going to go back. I do think that e4 is the way to play here. Let's go for it. I think it complements the bishop well. Black's going for basically pawns all on dark squares, so it'll be really important to keep this dark square bishop available. All right, I'm interested. We're going full light squares here. Let's see how this works out. Okay, knight here. I was definitely planning to go like this. Feels pretty good. Can drop the bishop back, put the knight back behind the pawn, which feels much better. Drop this first. I think knight back to f3. Queen f2, I think makes a lot of sense here. Gonna take this rook. And yeah, the bishops are pretty nice here. Black's not really playing in a way that is too dangerous. G6 allows knight h6, and there's going to be big problems. Ooh. I think there are definitely going to be big problems here. G5. We got this hanging. Queen h4 perhaps could have been another way to do it, but yeah, this looks just fine. Take this. I mean, this is a tough one to survive. We got f5 next. We got d4, d5. This has been a bit of a, well, in some ways a slower game, but yeah, the dark squares have been just nasty. And how nice to finish with all the pawns like this. d4. d4, GG. b4 for e5, happy to make the trade. I think this is a pretty classic response when we trade these two pawns. I pretty much go for these moves every single time. a3 just to see what's up. And here, just important, I didn't go maybe for too many dark squares. I mean, this is a fine move, don't get me wrong, but I was trying to go for more of a light square pawn, complementing my dark square bishop approach, which in the end we were able to, manage. And then yeah, after queen f2 with the knight here, you can see the effect of these light square pawns, and then the dark squares are killer. d4, f5, these are all winning ideas here. I thought that d4 was the most poetic to end things off. b4, our plan is bishop to b2, so we're pretty much gonna play that no matter what. All right, well, that's one way to prevent us from playing bishop b2, I suppose. New theory unlocked. All right, let's play b4, bishop b2, most likely knight f3. Again, with the idea that you can't take this pawn because you're gonna lose a pawn and an entire rook. Come on, it's too easy. Even 1300s are handing the game over on move 4. There ain't much to do here. Yeah, he's gonna bring the knight out. Gotta take the rook because it's about to move. Knight e4. Not really doing anything. I think e3 becomes tempting, but I want to make sure that this bishop doesn't get left behind, so to speak. So I think I'm going to move it back. And next, e3, we know, is such an important move in this opening. just to safeguard the f2 pawn. Okay, I think c4, knight c3. I don't really mind the doubled pawns there if that's what ends up happening, just because we can undouble them immediately, and of course we are up an entire rook. So I feel like if you want to do trades, like, I'm all for it. Okay, some more trades perhaps. Maybe bishop c3 as well. Yeah, I feel like I'm just going to keep offering these trades. This is another one. Bishop c3 afterwards. If you want to do this one, we're going to keep trading. So obviously got to stop it somehow. And get castled here. I think g3 is a nice safe move we can play. I mean, this pawn is hanging. We can take it. What else can be done? Yeah, I mean, taking it is just, I think, solid. We haven't even committed our king here. We can leave the king in the middle. No problem at all. Now, this one might be perhaps a little bit too far in terms of greed. That's our favorite thing to do. I mean, we're up a rook. What could possibly go wrong? Let's offer a trade here. Queen f6 looks very tempting. It's not playable, but looks tempting. Queen here. We also have bishop b4. Like I said, looks tempting. It looks way too tempting. So in the end, it is our dark squared bishop that just took every bit of material from him. That's it. That easy. One piece is all you need. And that's a big win, taking out 1,300 with the reliable 1b4. Talk to me, he says. All right, b4, bishop b2, he does defend. I'm gonna go c4. All right, I think this could be a good moment for this move. This bishop almost gets trapped after d5. Here, you know, we might have this. However, this move, that's the one that means it is definitely not the case. I am going to start with this. I wish we had this after bishop g7, but not quite. However, he still plays the move f5, so even if we were considering something like that, I don't think it's possible anymore. Now, do we play this? Could also consider this move, but I don't think we want to take here. I think this is going to be a bishop e2 moment. Now it becomes much more tempting just because the d6 pawn is hanging. So bishop back, we could take d6. Here, I think we've got to go with the knight. And we've got the bishop out. Black's probably going to play knight f6. We want a castle. Bishop here. Okay, yeah, let's stick with the queen. Couple threats. Queen e6 check is kind of a threat as well. It's hard to stop everything. Queen c7 does allow queen e6. There's also knight g5, which is a really powerful move. Yeah, so we do have queen e6, which will certainly be a good move, but I'm looking at knight here as probably just a much better move, but let's have a look. Knight here, knight f6. Okay. Knight f6, I guess we're not winning there. Knight df6. So, do we play this? Queen e6, king f8, knight g5. There's still knight df6. Really feels that this should be kind of game over. And then, of course, you've got to move like rook to d1. So I guess I'll start with this. Okay. Rook d1. Looking to take that. It's interesting. It's showing him pretty much not connected, even though he's definitely here. This is a free knight. And rook e8 we can take here, so that should rescue our queen. Bishop e7. We'll get a pawn here. Never like giving up a pawn with check, do you? Let's push. I think we can take this, just because we have this threatened as well. All right, and we've emerged with our extra piece. King c7 will be unfortunate. You almost want to play c7 just to, you know, get him to take, and then play knight e6. The good thing is that, you know, even if he kind of spots this move out, pawn on c7, even if he takes it, is going to be in our favor. And this one, I think, is going to win. Knight a7 check, and we're going to get a new queen. There we go. GG. GG. Okay, what happened here? More people are starting to defend this pawn with the d pawn. I think that makes perfect sense. I also think that after this, the move d4 makes perfect sense. Bishop e2, we're just gonna play our game here. But as soon as I see this, d pawn not defended, here, bishop f7 could be played. And this is good, but perhaps not great. But here, bishop f7 cannot be played. And if you have to take, if you have to give up this light squared bishop, I don't think that's what you want to do. And obviously, it was a disaster after that. Not a bad game. I do think we're going to see more of this stuff as, let's say, we get higher and higher rated. But for now, b4 working, as in we're getting a lot of really quick wins. And then on top of that, even the games that, let's say, are well played and we make it to a middle game, there's nothing wrong with a position like this. Our pieces still go to the same squares, which is helpful. Easy to remember. All right. Well, b4 to start. We're going to take that center pawn. Black should play this move. Oh, that's even worse. Not taking the pawn even. Just bishop d6, blundering the center pawn. We're at 1300 and it's still happening. Bishop takes e5, bishop takes g7, and bishop takes h8. We are winning so much material so quickly. Okay, I really feel like this knight could be getting trapped. If I go here, I'm worried that the queen's going to go there. And after b4 knight there, knight c2 will actually be a threat. So for that reason, I want to start with this. Because knight b4, we have it covered. Okay, it does force the knight to go back. Let's play this. And now we just extract our bishop before we get trapped. Why not offer a trade? Take that, and then, yeah, e3, bishop e2. Very nice. And we're out of trouble here. And we're up a full rook. More trades. At least I'll make the offer. Not that he has to accept. But all trades are good trades when you are up an entire rook. Bring the pieces out. Knight d2, perhaps going to f3. This one is actually covered. Don't forget about the backwards knight moves. I think this is fine. Queen here is also okay. We do have queen h3 if knight h4, which I would expect. But yeah, like I said, also g3 is no problem. I'm gonna go with this one. Seems to be the correct move, and we'll get out of this with a check here. Maybe this. I think this might actually be better. Knight takes g2. We can play king here, and yeah, I don't think there's a way to save the knight. So this kind of forces yet another trade. You can sack, but rook e1 happens. That knight is under attack. We should be able to force an exchange here. If the knight on h6 moves, technically there's knight takes f7, so it's not so simple. Queen here, there is knight d7, but after takes, there's queen takes f3. Not like we want to be in that business. So what I like is queen h4, with the hope that this gets me another trade. It's not forced, but I'm asking nicely. And you can't do much more than that. Queen d6, well declined trade, definitely. Seems that knight to f5 is happening. I think we'll step our king up in anticipation of this. And if it gets played, I think we're going to do this. Even if it might cost us perhaps a piece here, I don't know if that's the case, but even if it does, we're up so much material. All we want to do is trade. I'm threatening queen takes d8, so you kind of have to take the queen here. No other way around it. Very nice. Got to be pawn takes, but again, despite losing material there, we have a full extra rook, which is very easy. Okay, well, he's not going to have many moves here. Oh, we can run around for a while there now that the king's cut off. GG. It continues to be effective. I don't know what to say. It's the greatest speed run ever. Bishop b2, takes e5, takes g7. How many times have we done this in the same series? I mean, it's predictable now, but it never gets old. b4, bishop b2. Okay, we haven't seen this in a while. We got to hover this. Hover the E3 move. It's very important. We're at 1250. Surely they see the backwards knight move is no good, and they do. Queen G5. I'll develop with tempo. I'm not upset to do that. It's the first time we've seen someone not just completely hang material, so I suppose we should say good job. Save the bishop, get the knight out. I think we have a great looking position here. This knight, I think, wants to move so that the bishop can develop like this. But we'll probably be planning that next. Okay. D4. Perhaps we'll get, in my opinion, the most satisfying queen trap. People take here, assuming rook G1, but rook H2, no one expects it. And it does trap the queen. It's a good one to know. GG. That's going to be the whole queen from you. But not to mention, just look at the game. I mean, we have every piece developed. That we've done absolutely nothing wrong. Of course, we're just significantly better here, even without this this tactic. We definitely don't need this to succeed. GG, absolutely crushing. Nowhere for that queen to go. All the squares are covered. Rook H2, not rook G1, much better. But, I mean, this needs no introduction. Look at this position. I could castle here and we'd have an amazing position. Amazing. Look at the development. We have an extra pawn. This is just a bad opening from black, playing knight c6, allowing b5. Thankfully, our opponent did not just hang a piece, so a better move than that, but still, this is no good. People love to bring the queen out to challenge the bishop, but we just take that free tempo, and all the moves are exactly what we're used to. Here, I didn't play this because g2 is hanging, because knight d3 is a threat, so I skipped ahead to d4, but you get the idea. All right, b4, bishop b2. We're used to this by now. There's d6. Okay, we've seen this before. Let's go with c4. Now we're gonna play b5 here. Knight b4. We have that a3 move. I usually feel when the bishop arrives to e6 that in general, it's not a terrible time to play a move like d4. Now the question, which way do we take back? Both look pretty good here. I think with the pawn. And we'll get castle. d5 does not win the bishop, so it should not be played. Knight b6 to threaten this pawn, perhaps. Rook on e1 will always be a good piece, I think. Now, I wonder if the idea is to play knight g5. If that happens, I'm actually thinking I might just move my knight back to avoid the exchange. Anyhow, let's gain some more space over here. Oh, bishop out. Ooh, okay, this is a very important pawn here. I know it doesn't seem like it, but this knight is not really doing anything over there. a5 is here. We just want to make sure we don't hang this. So next move, queen d3. Now a5. Now a5. Force the knight back. Bring our own knight in. Bishop is situated so well here. And we're very close to something. For example, taking here, you cannot take, yeah, you have to take with the pawn. Taking here forces the queen to recapture. Yeah, this is very close to loss. Very close to lost. Taking on c7 is also a really good move. So I think we might do that as well. It really is like a take your pick kind of position. Because yeah, it's completely dominant. I think we're just gonna take the free material, the simple stuff, just take and go back. Don't need to be too much of a hero here. And bishop c3 in order to play rook e1, I think is particularly nice. In this case, I am going to go for f4 because knight e4 walks into both rook e1 and the bit more simple bishop takes d7. This also looks good, but we'll move back for now. We can double the pawns there. It all works. And of course, we want to challenge here, so maybe bishop c3 and bishop there next. Let's go like this. g3, there's queen h3, so I'm holding off for now. Queen e6, we could try knight c7. I'm assuming we'll see queen e3 check there. So what I'll do first is I think I'll go f5. I don't know where this queen goes here. You want to play queen e4. I mean, happy to make that trade. Queen f6, not an option. Let's offer a trade. And go with f6. Just make sure this is not a stalemate. There is one move, and it's h5. It almost feels like stalemate. There is h5 though. GG. And I said, you know, it feels bad being 1200 on the dot, playing on, but of course, we did it all perfectly, so we ended at 1300 exactly. Just as satisfying. Everything fell into place. And that's just how good that b4 move is. We've seen this a few times. d6, black plays like that, castle safely. Knight c6, always take the tempo. I'm not going to be playing b5 randomly, but knight c6 is a great reason. And our setup's very similar every single time. Enjoy the extra space you have. And in this case, enjoy the light squares. GG. And that's 1300 on the dot. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of another episode of the 1b4 speedrun. I hope you found this as tricky and successful as I did in the series. And remember to subscribe to the chessbrah YouTube channel if you're not already, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss when we drop our next upload.